Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at a scenario of what if Germany formed an empire. This is taking place in the modern day, and there are a few things I want to say before we jump right on into this video. First thing I want to say is that this is not meant to reflect real life in any way. It is also not meant to reflect anything that happened in history in any way, and it is not meant to be realistic in any way. This is just a map. It's probably going to ignore geography, and it's probably going to ignore a whole bunch of other things, including the fact that this country isn't allowed to have much of a military in the first place. Now, let's jump right on into this video, after I do say one more thing, which has to do with why I just had that weird interruption there, and that is that I am trying to do these videos in one take so that I can spend more time recording videos and keep a 2 upload a day schedule instead of spending time editing and not having any time to do what I want to do. So, yeah. Anyways, let's jump right on into the scenario. And yeah, as you can see, Germany in the modern day looks like this. They used to have land over in this area over in Poland, but they don't have that anymore. So it'd be interesting what a German empire would look like if they were to try and form one in the modern day. So yeah, they're going to be starting off with a small prey, and that country is none other than I think it's not a city-state, but I've heard a lot of people call it a city-state. I know it's not a microstate, but a lot of people call it that. But yeah, we're going to see them attacking Luxembourg. And for a little better detail, we're going to see a very small but quick invasion wiping out this country in probably a matter of hours, maybe less. I don't know how long a war in Luxembourg would last. I know it takes a couple, it's either a couple hours or, oh, I forget how long, but you can walk across Luxembourg a lot slower than a lot of people would think. Anyways, from here, Germany will be expanding into their next country, which is kind of in the same region, but this one is definitely a much tougher prey. In a lot of Ada's Pro videos, you're going to see him undermining the power of the Netherlands, which doesn't really make sense because these guys have been the only country in history to become trillionaire states twice. So, yeah, this thing is something to be reckoned with. They were the first country to ever surpass a GDP of 1 trillion, and yeah, they're gonna put up a fight here. Unfortunately for them, however, that is their historical values, and they're not going to see as much success here, as German forces will kind of just move through this area up in the north. That is, of course, like what they've reclaimed from the sea. And yeah, they haven't lost any major cities yet, but they've definitely lost some major settlements, and they're going to lose their capital from here. After this, Rotterdam and The Hague will go ahead and fall over, and from here, the Dutch will surrender. They don't have anything left worth fighting for, and yeah, we can go ahead and remove their capital and Luxembourg's, as this treaty is gonna look pretty simple, as yeah, they're gonna get erased from the map. I find it kind of strange why the Netherlands looks this way, but I mean, I get it. And yeah, from here, I feel like their next move is pretty obvious, but they're actually not gonna be going after Belgium if that's what you would have said, because that would probably invoke response from other Western powers, and they don't want that as of yet. So instead, they're going to be looking up northward to their northern neighbor of Denmark, in which they will take their uh, anger out on. I don't know if they're necessarily angry, but they're going to be angry here. And yeah, German forces will move up into Danish territory after I figure out what anti-aliasing is. And they're going to very quickly take over the areas in Jutland. And from here, they're going to make a landing over in this island here, and then a landing in Copenhagen Island, and they're going to take the capital. They will also take this island, and from here, Denmark will capitulate. Only 5 hours this time? Just kidding. Anyways, we're gonna see Denmark getting completely annexed by the Germans as yeah, you're not surviving this. There's no shot. And yeah, bye bye capital. And this is the new map of Germany that we're looking at. And they're about to do something very illegal. And that is violating the peace treaty of World War II and force annexing Austria into their empire. This is really controversial because um they are prohibited from doing that, as stated in the Treaty of World War II. But yeah, we're gonna see them doing it anyways. And from here, they're gonna reflect history in a way, not in the same manner, but they're gonna do the exact same thing. Different ideas are going through these countries' heads per se. But yeah, we're gonna see a quick and fateful defeat happening in Czechia, where the country will be completely erased from the map. And you can say goodbye to your capital, Czechia, because that's not your capital anymore. It's just a German city. And from here, Germany's getting a little too powerful. So, yeah, they're going to take on a much stronger country, and that is a country that could possibly even defeat modern Germany in a fight. Of course, not acknowledging all their economic industries, because there's no way Poland would be able to beat Germany economically, so it's more likely that Germany would be able to outlast Poland in a war if it came down to resources that they have. So, yeah, Poland, you're gonna get invaded. And, yeah, this is gonna trigger a response from France. Of course, NATO doesn't exist in this timeline, so yeah. As well as that, we're gonna see a response being triggered from Hungary and Lithuania. If I remember correctly, Poland has close ties with Hungary and Lithuania. I don't know how that's looking like now. I believe one of these three has a new leader. I think it's Poland, and they may have like separated off, but like we're going to see this kind of coalition forming against the Germans because they don't want another German empire. More particularly, France and Poland don't want to repeat history. Lithuania, I mean, they've lost some land to Germany historically, and yeah, they don't want that. And Hungary, I feel like that one's a little bit of an oddball, but they probably see more of an advantage by attacking Germany now than they would by, say, joining them eventually, gaining land. They probably lose that land and they probably get punished because this thing is gonna get stopped eventually. Not in this video because this is their video. So, yeah, we're gonna see Germany going ahead and sending a small amount of forces into France. It's not going to be a lot because this is going to be a set up as a defensive front. They just want to line it out so it's a lot easier to defend. And yeah, this will be seen as French forces will be able to move into some of these areas, such as Luxembourg here and this part of Baden. So it's kind of just a line that they have to defend instead of it being like a triangle. So that is a lot easier for the Germans. And yeah, from here, they're going to go ahead and launch their invasion into Poland, which will be pretty quick as Germany has a lot of their resources and forces mounted over here. And yeah, they're going to see a lot of success early in the war. From here, we're going to enable the major cities layer. I'm not going to try to pronounce these cities because last time I got ridiculed. So yeah, we're just going to see these major cities falling. And yeah, that one, which I think might descend from the name of Danzig, I don't know though, will fall, and Poland will become landlocked. That is not a good thing for Poland. From here, these two major cities in the south will be taken by the German forces, and from here, they're going to declare war on Slovakia in order to make this one front. And so German forces will begin to pour down into Slovakia, very quickly taking over the middle portion of the country. And they're kind of gonna meet the gates of Budapest, like immediately. And the Hungarians may have been trying to start up a front line in Austria. Unfortunately for them, however, yeah, you're not in a good position. And so they're gonna retract their forces. And yeah, they're going to see a complete fallout as they abandon all this Slovakian territory in order to repel the attack on their capital, which will go pretty successfully as they're going to liberate all this Slovakian land over here. However, that will not help out Poland as most of the forces are still mounted here. From here, we're going to see more and more of Polish territory falling over to German forces. From here, we head on over to France, who is going to see a lot of success. This is the top 10 power, and Germany is not a top 10 power. They might be for this video, though, who knows. And yeah, from here, we're going to see them losing Stuttgart, and from here, they're going to push up and nearing Frankfurt. This area is really important to Germany, so they're going to have to uh, reprioritize a lot of their forces. This will allow for Poland to gain a whole bunch of breathing room as they will go ahead and liberate a lot of their northern territory, because this is where the Germans were willing to, I guess, take forces from. Because this has a whole bunch of more opportunities in getting rid of these two, and they don't want these two to be a thorn in their side, so they want to hold on to that. And yeah, from here they're going to be doing what they do best and declaring war on Belgium, and immediately pushing right on through. Belgium does not stand a chance. It'd probably be a lot less advantageous for Germany if they had invaded Belgium earlier, but since they're invading it now, they're going to see a quick shot through into northern France, and this will force the French to reprioritize, as they're going to have to fall back out of most of the German territory except for a small part in Baden. From here, they're going to once again repel German forces, and they're going to retake most of their territory and even begin to push into Belgian territory up here, as German forces probably will not be able to beat French forces. Let's be real here. This is the modern day, not World War II. From here, we're going to see the Germans pushing straight into this southern Polish area towards this major city that I should know the name of. And then we're going to see this area of Slovakia completely falling over. From here, German forces will push up, securing this area here. Now they begin to rain all hell onto Hungary, who will lose their occupation in Slovakia. Then they're going to lose a whole bunch of this western area here. From here, their capital. And at this point, Hungary will go ahead and surrender. At this point, the Germans will decide to go on a side quest because they want to cause some trouble elsewhere. So they're going to launch an invasion into Slovenia. You may ask what the point of this is. Well, Slovenia has a coastline on the Adriatic Sea, which connects up to the Mediterranean. They can use that in order to go into the Mediterranean, trade, and also wreck a whole bunch of French ships. Of course, they have to get ships down there first. So, kind of in the middle of the war, we're going to see them doing this and annexing the state of Slovenia, completely erasing it off of the map, and giving them a lot greater access to a region which I don't think they've ever had direct control over. I'm pretty sure they had like parts of Slovenia during World War II, but I don't know. Definitely not any time before though. I mean, you could count the Holy Roman Empire, but not really. And yeah, from here, we are going to talk about the French front line again, because the French have seen a massive breakthrough and have pushed up through most of Belgium. And from here, they are going to restart an offensive, but this time into the Netherlands, taking most of the major cities besides Amsterdam. And that is pretty bad because that's another important region of Germany, or I guess this Germany because that's the Netherlands. But yeah, Germany is kind of scared that they'll lose this region and they won't be able to retake it. So they're gonna once again uh, try to obliterate Poland as fast as possible, in which they will proceed to do because Poland has not much going for it left. And from here, we will see Poland losing Warsaw, and it kind of just begins to fall apart from here. And German forces will reach the border of Lithuania. From here, they're going to go ahead and convince Lithuania to surrender on over to their forces. Lithuania will be pretty relieved to do so because they don't want to get steamrolled. From here, um, yeah, giant red versus blue, but the blue is probably still stronger than the red. But the red is stronger because of the video, so yeah, they're going to push back. From here, they're going to continue to see success, in which we see the fall of Alsace-Lorraine. From here, we see the fall of Belgium. At this point, these countries are tired of fighting this war, so we're going to go ahead and see a peace treaty that I'm going to do in that live time. And yeah, let's start this off over on the Western Front because yeah, small problem here. The provinces don't include Alsace-Lorraine, so we're just gonna have to create a brand new line that reflects this. And yeah, it's kind of just gonna go along here. And yeah, I'll update that in a second. From here, we head on over to the Eastern Front area here, where we're gonna see Hungary losing these three provinces here. Slovakia will lose these provinces here. And as for Poland, poor Poland, they're going to be losing a lot of their country. They're going to lose this province here. They're going to lose a lot of their inner territory. From here, they're going to lose this province here. At this point, I think that's actually all the lines I needed to draw in. So we can go ahead and reassign these borders, and which first we can go ahead and remove France from this, because France will not be getting any more land or anything out of this war for that matter. So yeah, goodbye France, you served your purpose for that war. From here, we can go ahead and recolor Alsace-Lorraine, Belgium, and of course, these parts of Hungary, Slovakia, Poland, and not Lithuania, because Lithuania will not be losing anything or gaining anything. And yeah, now to erase these lines, where Slovakia is going to lose their capital, and Hungary will lose probably not too important land. I don't know. If anyone from Hungary conveniently watches this video, tell me, because I want to know. And yeah, as for Slovakia, we're going to see them having to move their capital over to this major city over here, which is a little relieving for them at least, because it's not on the German border, but it's not relieving because you just lost your capital. And yeah, from here, we're going to see a pretty bad thing happening for every country here but Lithuania, and that is that they're going to get completely new governments. And this is kind of to be expected. But yeah, they're going to be getting pro-German governments at this point, in which they're going to support the German Empire. From here, we can head on over to the west, where we're going to go ahead and see them annexing Belgium and the Alsace-Lorraine region officially. And from here, what does this thing do? It probably has most of what it wants. So, yeah, why don't we declare war on the largest country on Earth, Russia? Now, yeah, this is really reflecting history now, isn't it? This is this is not meant to be the same. That's kind of the main reason why I said that stuff at the beginning. But we're gonna see Germany declaring war on Russia. As the Germans suspected, their closest ally, Belarus, will be joining the war. And from here, we're basically gonna see the rest of CSTO not kind of agreeing to the alliance. I don't know much about CSTO. I just know the members are, I think Armenia's still in it. There's, of course, Russia, there's Belarus, there's Kazakhstan, and Kyrgyzstan. I don't know if Tajikistan's still in it, but I'm pretty sure they are. I know that these two are, though. Watch me be wrong, but yeah, we're only going to see Belarus meeting this call of arms. And yeah, from here, German forces will begin to have a field day, as Kaliningrad is pretty easy to invade and occupy, given that it is a tiny exclave. And from here, Belarus is also pretty easy to occupy because, well, it's Belarus. And yeah, we're going to see Belarus losing their capital. From here, all these German forces will begin to flood into Belarusian territory. However, Russian forces will eventually meet this front line, where things will slow down. At this point, the Germans are looking for a whole bunch of allies to help them out in this war, because they're realizing now that this will be a really drawn out and long war. And so they're going to see their first ally in Ukraine. Why wouldn't they join this war? Well, they're kind of in a conflict with Russia themselves. This would prove to be an opportunity for them to take back a whole bunch of their territory that Russia has occupied in this southern region here. If I can, once again, turn anti-aliasing off. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the Russian front line still looks something like this. So yeah, we're going to see Ukraine trying to get that back. And as well as that, we're going to see yet another country joining. And this is because of a historical, I guess, kind of rivalry. But this country kind of wants revenge, only specifically for this scenario. This country does not want revenge in real life. And that country is Finland. Finland will be joining the war on the side of the red team in order to gain access to some of this Karelian land, more specifically this lake right here. I don't know what that lake offers, but it's going to offer something. So yeah, we're going to see war being declared by the Finnish. And from here, let's actually watch the war. So at first, the main focus will be down here in Ukraine, as forces from all over the German Empire, I guess, will move in to help the Ukrainians push back, because this is the main front line where they can push out of. And if they kick them out of Ukraine, that's a lot of Russian forces gone. So yeah, German forces will prove to be very useful to the Ukrainians here, as the Ukrainians will go ahead and liberate a lot of their lost territory. At this point, however, they're not going to prioritize Ukrainian land, and instead they're going to prioritize getting the kill, as forces will begin to move out of Ukraine and into Russia. At this point, Belarus has lost its last major city, and yeah, this thing's cooked. And from here, we're going to see this major city between the Ukrainian border and Moscow being captured. That is kind of scary if you're Russian because that's not all too far. The Germans don't have much of a army to get through this time. From here, we're going to see some probably manipulation happening. We're going to see some of these Baltic states joining in here. More particularly, we're going to see Lithuania and Estonia getting involved due to Estonia's friendship with Finland and Lithuania's maybe friendship with the German Empire at this point. So these countries are likely being manipulated here. And Latvia's not going to join. They're kind of scared, so they don't want to. Estonia really doesn't want to, but I mean, they will. Maybe someone had to do with that, but yeah, from here we see Finland going ahead and invading into Russian territory, quickly meeting up with this lake here, and also they're going to push over through this area here, cutting off the Kola Peninsula as well as Murmansk, which is a huge achievement this early in the war. This is one of Russia's largest cities, so yeah, that's scary. And from here, we can talk about Estonia, which will go on the offensive for whatever reason, and they will enter into Russian territory near St. Petersburg. At this point, Russia's not messing around anymore. They're going to try to begin to repel these. More so, they're going to be able to slow them down, but not repel them. As these forces begin to try to meet up with the Estonian forces, that will not be happening, however, because Russia is going to create a distraction by sending a whole bunch of their forces back into land that was previously occupied by them in Ukraine and kind of just doing a whole bunch of war crimes. From here, we're going to see the Ukrainians successfully liberating the port of Sevastopol, which will lead to the eventual recapture of all of Crimea, which is a huge thing because Russia now no longer has that front going for them. And now they are really losing on all fronts but this one here, which they just used a whole bunch of force to move out of. And guess what? They're pushing through your forces. At this point, Russia has not much left to go for, and they're going to reach an agreement with a few of these countries. The first country is Ukraine, which they're going to go ahead and promise all their land back to in order for them to leave the war. From here, they're going to promise Finland and Estonia land respectively, so they back out of the war. And from here, they're going to see a little more fighting. Eventually, we're going to see Russian forces evacuating out of Belarus, which will inevitably lead to Russia kind of just giving into a peace treaty with the Germans. So let us back up the map here so we can go ahead and look at a peace treaty like this. And to start off, Ukraine will not be getting any land, and we're going to start off with the other allies, which didn't officially join Germany at all. But yeah, from here we do get to look at the map here, which we won't be using at all province-wise. So yeah, let's just draw in some random wacky borders with the right version of the tool. So yeah, Estonia will be gaining this land here. Finland will be gaining this land here, as well as this land up here. So yeah, we can go ahead and see what this looks like, which will look something like not that, and more so something like this, that. That was a horrible job, and that. So these are the new borders of Finland and Estonia. From here, we can talk about Lithuania, Belarus, Russia, and Germany. Germany will be getting pretty little for how much they participated in this war, but we're going to see them annexing all of Kaliningrad. From here, we head on over to Lithuania, which will officially become an ally of Germany. At this point, however, it's Belarus time, because Belarus is they're gonna get divided here. And how else to divide them but to absolutely obliterate them from the map. And by obliterate them from the map, I mean obliterate them from the map. And we're gonna kind of be going off of province borders here, as I forget once again to use the anti-aliasing. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. Please someone free me from it. But yeah, we're gonna kind of be going off the borders here because we don't want Lithuania getting all too much land, but we don't want it getting no land. So yeah, we're going to be looking at Louisiana's. That's not Louisiana. We're going to be looking at Lithuania's claims, which will be this territory here. Not too much, but it's land nonetheless. And from here, we're going to see the Polish puppet state of Germany's annexing this land here, which is a large amount of land for a puppet state. But yeah, from here, we're going to see another puppet state being set up over here in Belarus. And that's actually going to do it for today's video. I don't know why Belgium has their capital back, but yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed, make sure you do subscribe. If you made it this far, that should be something you should do because you probably enjoyed this video. Speaking of, if you did enjoy this video, make sure you do like it because that shows you like this certain type of content. You would like to see more of it. And I think that's all I have. I'll see you all in the next video.